Okay. I had to ask myself, are we live? Hi guys, welcome back. Happy Tuesday. It is episode 23 of the Money Show, and we have a few things that we want to talk about. Everybody that's here, please like the video. It is greatly appreciated, more than you know. And I'm going to start the show out today with a question. And that question is, have you stopped traveling recently? We will see why that in question is important in a bit. The table of contents that we're going to be talking about today is the latest inflation report. Last week's show, it was the latest jobs report. So this is going to give us some more context about where the economy is going. Then we're going to talk about airlines warning us about their future practices due to past behavior of us, the travelers. And then lastly, we're going to talk about the consequences of tariffs and also golds. I talk about golds every show, but it might be getting tariffed. So that's something we need to talk about. So the inflation report, July 2025's inflation report came out today. Today's Tuesday. Yes, it came out today. And core inflation was up in July 3.1%, and that is up from June at 2.9%. I put June as yellow because it wasn't green, like it wasn't good, but it wasn't red. But 3.1% is not headed in the right direction. And that's because the Fed wanted to be like 2.7%. And we now have to look at the pattern to see if this is going to keep happening. So in June, it was like, okay, it's 2.9%. They were hoping for it to be 2.7. They were like in June, oh, we'll see what next month is. But next month, which is now, this report is showing 3.1%. They also checked something called the Consumer Price Index, and that gave a little bit more better news. That was at 2.7%. I should have put that in green, to be fair. But that is a lower number that was expected, and they are presuming that's because gas prices were lower this summer, which is awesome because usually gas prices are expensive in the summertime. I've been missing out on gas prices because I don't got a car, and I love that for me. But I do remember gas prices getting more expensive in the summer, and that's because of people travel more in the summer, which is also a topic we're going to talk about. Hi, East Boogie. Good afternoon. As always, thank you for supporting. And then food prices were lower, which I think they were lower in June, but July they were a little bit more. In August, I'm noticing that they're getting better. I mean, they're getting more expensive, and I'm about to go grocery shopping after this, and I'm nervous. I'm gonna say that. And the concern about the inflation report is that the federal rates have not been cut, and in September, I think the government per se is wanting it to be cut, and a lot of consumers as well, because if you're in the market for a home, you want the rates to get cut. So there's a plurality of us in America that want it to get cut. Because theoretically, that's how they've been able to keep the economy in check. And if we're better, we can get better rates. That'll help everybody who's trying to buy money. And we risk stagflation if it is not cut. And stagflation is an issue when inflation is up, which inflation is currently up at the moment, as well as we have stagnant economic growth, which I think that we can say we do. Because there's a lot of concerns and people aren't buying things. So there can't be much economic growth. People aren't buying houses as much. People aren't buying your regular consumer things as much. So yeah. And then other thing we have to consider is rising unemployment. The unemployment numbers came out like last week and they were steady, but you have to think about like real time and what people are thinking. I just feel like every other headline is about people losing their job, being laid off, and businesses shuttering. In a lot of industries, tech industries, retail industries, things like that are happening. I heard something I saw on TikTok the other day that an AC man's business was low because people are just willing to take the heat on because they can't afford it. They need to keep their money. So people are hot out here, and that's terrible. But yeah, the AC, they always say like HVAC is a recession-proof business because people, if you're hot, if you live in hot places like Florida, Arizona, Texas, the South, a lot of places in America, because New York City is hot too in the summer. But that's the thing. And as a consequence, if stagflation is a concern, businesses are slow now on hiring. So that made me ask myself, is hiring connected to businesses acquiring debt and borrowing money? Because businesses aren't really hiring that much anymore because they're trying to protect their bottom line. And in an atmosphere of layoffs, even if you're not laying off your employees, if you see neighborhood businesses laying off, you're probably just, if you can avoid laying them off, you're also not going to hire more people. And then I think a lot of businesses are holding off on hiring people as well because they're not borrowing money. So that made me connect, which is a weird practice, because I don't know why you would bet someone's salary on borrowed money. I kind of get the argument that it's because scared money don't make any money. And with the new people on board, they're going to help your business. And as long as you can afford the payments, borrowing money is fine. So if you're borrowing money, I think in the economy, that means the economy is more bullish and willing to make risk. And risk in America is rewarded with higher shares, higher earnings per shares, higher revenue, but there's going to be that debt that you have to make sure you can clear. And with the rates being high, the last few years, companies have not been doing that. And now it makes sense. But I never really connected that before. So that's where we're at as far as the inflation report. I think we need to be mindful because, and I think that is what we're doing kitchen table wise. Neighborhood wise, we're being mindful. Now on to the next topic, which is the question that I have up here. So I will highlight it. Have you stopped traveling internationally and domestic wise? I will say for me, my answer is no. I have not stopped traveling. I haven't been traveling, but it's not because of my budget. Because as far as my traveling budget, that is fine so far. Thank God. I put that into a sinking fund. So I just haven't traveled because the time hasn't been right in the last 12 to 16 months. But I do have the money to do it. I just need to find time to do it. But apparently, according to some airlines, people are not traveling as much. And there's going to be a few airlines that I talk about. The first one's going to be Frontier Airlines, which is headquartered here in Miami, in Florida, South Florida specifically. But they're reporting that domestic routes are no longer profitable like they used to be. And as a result, they are decreasing flight schedules that they find not profitable domestically. And as a consequence to us, we're not going to be able to fly to, let me put an arbitrary number out there, 100 destinations in America. We're only going to get to 75, and then we're going to have to find ways to get to those other ones. Frontier Airlines, in their Q2 report, reported they made $929 million in revenue. I don't know if that's large or small, but I know grocery stores have done better than that. So it didn't seem like a lot, but they reported a $70 million loss. And apparently these smaller, more regional, like Frontier, what's the other one? Spirit, JetBlue, they're struggling. Yet Delta Airlines and United Airlines are doing well. And I think that's because they have a larger market share. They've been able to stand the test of people not traveling as much anymore. So that made me ask, like, why aren't people traveling? There's a lot of reasons. We'll get to it in a little bit. Now, the next airline we want to talk about is Spirit Airlines, which also is seeing weak domestic need, which means that us Americans aren't traveling to places. And I have seen updates about that. I had talked to y'all a few months ago about, what's that place called? Las Vegas. They're not doing well. But I don't know. I haven't seen reports about New York. I haven't seen reports about Florida that we're doing particularly bad. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that we're doing particularly bad or particularly good. So I'm not sure. But Spirit Airlines is in a pickle specifically because they filed bankruptcy at the end of last year because they had a high debt load. They emerged again in 2025 after their debt was reconstructed by the courts. But already after Q2, they are reporting to us that they are low on cash, and as a result, their shares were down 42% very recently. And now their shares weren't a lot. It's like it was $10. It never really went above, but now it's like $2, which is like really sad. And they have reported that they're demoting 140 employees and they're furloughing 270 employees. And their credit processor told them that they need more funds as collateral to continue doing business with Spirit as of December of 2025. So as a result, Spirit is going to be selling their airplanes, a good amount of them, and real estate to get this cash up. And they also are going to be decreasing their airport gate capacity because, again, the demand is not there. And that's alarming. Okay. East Biggie says he's still traveling. Yeah, like, I mean, I'm keeping my money to my chest, but that's other money. I do have traveling money that, thank God, that I just haven't had the time. But if I could go right now, if my schedule allowed, I would. So leisure travel is down because people are watching their pockets. Some people are doing no spend. Y'all know I'm doing no spend. But again, even with no spend, I have a traveling sinking fund. Some people are doing revenge savings because they're, not happy with the state of this country, not happy with the state of like companies, how they're treating employees while they swaze. Some people are doing layoff prep. I'm doing layoff prep. And I'm not saying that to say that I want to, because I'm not, but I just feel like you need to be realistic. And some people are already laid off. So that makes sense why in the tea leaves we're seeing leisure travel is down. Hopefully it gets back up, but long-term consequences, I don't know if these smaller airlines can keep going 12 months, 24 months at this rate. So we got to keep watch over that to see how it's going. And then the last topic is we're going to be talking about gold, and specifically that gold prices are going down the last, I would say 3 to 4 days. Let's say this week, because the president said originally we were going to be tariffing gold, but then he just reported that it's not. And this is physically on like the physical specifically on the physical bars of gold. So the gold industry was in array because physical gold coming to America was going to have to get rerouted to other countries, which is, I don't know much about it, but I did pull up this article. I didn't have time to put it on the slide, but the president on Monday said he would not impose tariffs on gold. And that is a move welcomed by global bullion markets, and which ended days of speculation that allowed that the yellow metal could be caught up in an ongoing global trade spat. So gold was almost up to 3,400 at its height. May 6th, it was 3,400. Like a week ago, it was almost at that, but now it's cheaper because people are worried. I'm curious to see what it's going to be like tomorrow. This would have been a good time if anybody had extra money to invest in gold this week, because you did get it on sale. Because look, it's only $1 less. And this is the wrong date. This is actually August 12th. It's only $1 less than it was June 3rd. So 2 months ago. It's a good deal. But I hope it's not tariffed, because when I try to invest the beginning of next year, I don't want to do that at all. And that's it for tonight, guys. To wrap up, inflation is up 2 months in a row. I don't think it's anything to be alarmed about right now, but I'm just going to watch it. I don't see prices going super up yet. If they are, I will, probably complain about it in another type of video, but right now it's fine. And I'm happy about that. I do want to always make sure that I'm saying the good with the bad. I want to be as impartial as I can, because there's going to be some good things that come out of this, and there's going to be some bad things that come out of this. And I want to talk about it all, because you got to find the good and the bad. Domestic air travel is struggling. So maybe if you feel like bumping up the economy and you got in your budget, go somewhere and treat yourself to like a 3 to 4 day weekend somewhere. Gold is still a commodity, and it is not being tariffed at the moment. But I think overall we can conclude that things are slowing down. And that's okay. So there are peaks and valleys. And I think we're somewhere between a peak and a valley. Today, the president also said that he's postponing the tariffs on China for another 90 days. So that's good. That's going to help the stock market. Let me see. The stock market today was good. It went up almost $500, 44 and a half. I wonder if it would have been like that if the Chinese tariffs went in today. But again, we're postponing it. We're kicking the can down the road, whatever works. I'm not interested in volatility. Something to be concerned about is that in September, the stock market naturally goes down. That's a down month historically. We are in August. So it'd be nice if we can get it up to 45,000, the Dow Jones and S&P at 7,000. So we have like a buffer. But only time will tell. We will see. We're not even halfway through August yet, but I'm really bracing myself for September because September proves to be a tricky month. That's it for today's video, guys. Thank you guys for showing up, as always, spending some time with me to talk about money. If you ever think of something that you hear about that you want me to do more research on, please let me know in the comments of this video and the comment of any video. Just be like, hey, what have you heard about so-and-so? And I will be happy to look it up because I can do this all day, which is why I do it often. You're welcome, East Boogie. Again, thank you for always supporting me. And to the other person, there was one other person in the chat this week and this week for tonight's show. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget to like as you leave, and I will see you guys next Tuesday, 8:30.